I'm Kellen Gray. I had the privilege of collaborating with the Royal Scottish National Orchestra and Linn Records to record the second installment of our album series, African American Voices, featuring Margaret Bonds Montgomery Variations, Ulysses Kay Concerto for Orchestra, and Coleridge-Taylor Perkinson's Worship, a Concert Overture. So much of the music from this album are from origins of music that I grew up with personally. I grew up in South Carolina in the US, and I grew up in a particular place where folk music is just all around me all the time. Whether it be early jazz, jubas, field hollers, spirituals in churches, and that's a lot of what this music is based from, whether it be the Margaret Bonds or the Coleridge-Taylor Perkinson. It's a sort of cornerstones of the music that they write. Despite they have very, very different styles and very different treatments of the music, it still comes from the same place, and it happens to be the same place I'm from. For as long as there's been classical music, there have been people of African descent that have made it. The particular three that we're celebrating happen to be from the 20th century. Some of their exclusion from the normal canon of repertoire is simply intentional from the time they lived in, being various parts of the 20th century in which Black people were subjugated or prevented from being in classical music. And I think that particular aspect of our society has helped prevent people that look like myself from being a part of the industry even today. They're all very different, and I think they get, simply because of their ethnicity, they get lumped into one, and there can be a sort of thought that there's a similarity between all of them. When there's such a wide variety of American composers, there's just a wide array of African American composers, and I think, unfortunately, the label only comes from our limitations of our own imagination. And I think through an album like this, it's a possibility that there can be more people that look like me in places where I'm from that could be in the industry. It's always a pleasure working with the RSNO, with the Royal Scottish National Orchestra. Every musician is incredibly dedicated to making really beautiful music and is making it as the best they can. And the core of the orchestra has been together for such a long time that certain inner mechanics of the way an orchestra should function or the way to get a piece together are already just inherent. And so it really not just opens up the possibilities of getting to the music right away, but the musicians are rather insistent on it, which creates a wonderful opportunity for me, because you really get to sort of explore and create sounds that you may not necessarily always have time or even the relationship with the orchestra to do so. And I think, this orchestra and I have developed a wonderful relationship over the past couple of years. I think they've seen me grow as a conductor and as a musician, and I've seen them grow, and particularly learning the performance practice of African American composers that have used folk music as the base of their music. I think they're one of the only orchestras on earth that's done such a deep exploration of this over a 2-year period and really loves it. And I admire the enthusiasm that they take to exploring the music and trying to get it as close to its authentic source as they possibly can. With this album, these three composers, though they lived close in time, it all sounds very different. And particularly I chose these three pieces to sort of show that array of how different and diverse their sounds and aesthetic can be. So I think within the range of the pieces here, I think everybody's going to find something they love, and I hope that it makes them curious. And you hear this music, it sounds maybe different than you thought it would be. You find something that you can relate to, sounds that you really, really love, and I hope it makes you curious to explore more composers. Because I grew up with this particular music that we recorded here, I think that the style is part of me and I'm a part of it.